Blessed morning, blessed love one and all. Once again, I'm inviting you into my garden. This is Anne from Yardstead in Jamaica. I have this morning transplanted some tomatoes, sweet pepper, and Swiss chard suckers. And I'm going to show you what I did. Sorry, I forgot to have taken the camera up prior to the transplanting process. Nevertheless, the transplanting is completed and I'll show you what I have done. This is what I have done thus far. So I have placed each sucker underneath a cup, and this is to prevent one, insect eating them down before they have come up properly. Two, just in case there is a heavy rain because it is overcast right now, they won't be beaten down into the ground because the water will beat on the cups instead of on the plant themselves. All right. Why do I do this so early? It is said that once the plants have gotten what is classified as true leaves, which would be what you would see on a tomato plant like this, you can notice that this plant already has two. So they say once a plant have two true leaves, it can be uppotted. So that is what I did for all of these plants, because each and every one of them have two true leaves. So that is why I took the opportunity to transplant them. Okay, so in another day or two, I'm going to be feeding them a solution of molasses, water, and a little bit of milk. That is to aid in the growth process. The tomatoes, if they don't have enough calcium, when they start to bear, then you have blossom end rot. So I like to do the preventative method and the curing method. So this substance will be applied once every 3 weeks to each of these plants, because the tomatoes and the sweet peppers, really, the Swiss chard don't need all of that. What I'll give the Swiss chard though, and I'll also add to the tomato water, is some hydrogen peroxide, which actually helps the plant to uptake oxygen from the soil. So 1 tablespoon in a gallon of water is the application, and I'll use that to water not just these but the entire bed right at the root zone, all of the plants. All right, so apart from that, then I am going to be putting in what I call worm bins into these beds. Should have done so long ago, because whenever I plant vegetable, I like to ensure that I have a feeding system. So I've already begun to accumulate the scraps for the worm bins. I'll show you what I'm going to be baking them from. You see these creamer bottles? All right. So this creamer bottle, I'm going to be putting about 4 in each bed. So I'm going to put one here, one there, one down where the sweet peppers are, and one right in the middle here. So they'll be filled with holes, top all the way up to about here, all the way about to this waist of the bottle, all the way down to the bottom of the bottle. It'll be filled with holes all around the bottle and on the bottom as well, so that we'll have drainage of the water, because I'm going to be combining a little water in with the banana peel, the melon skins, the orange peel that will be cut up, not the rindy portion but the portion, the white portion that hold the pulp. Yes, those, like any other vegetable scrap from the kitchen, will be used to fill these containers up, and I put the lid back on them so that unless I put water in it, no water goes in there. So what this does is feed the worms that are in the soil, and then the worm in turn will, once they have been fed, poop into my garden and create for me one of the most costly um, fertilizer you can ever purchase, vermicompost, because that is all that is just worm poop. So if I feed the worms in my garden, they will fertilize my garden for me. So that is what I am intending to do. It could be done another way, in that I could do what is called trenching, but it means that I'm going to be constantly aggravating the soil in the trenching process to put scrap in and to recover. That is kind of too much of a work. It's easier to have containers where you just fill the containers with the scrap, continue to replenish it, and then that in turn feeds the insect population in your soil to ensure that you have a more abundant garden. I'm all for the natural way of growing food, and these are some of the methods I use. So, in this bed now, I am going to be, all the empty spaces that are not going to be slotted in with the worm bins, I am going to be sticking in, because I like to grow very close. So I am going to be sticking in some beetroot, things that will grow under the soil, because everything that is in there as of right now is things that will grow above soil. So I'm going to be sticking some beetroots in, and when the marigolds have come up, I'll populate them in between the plants, because they're like the tomatoes that need to be um, germinated via insect, or sometimes you can just knock the fruit like that, the set, and it will self-pollinate, right? Wind will blow it and it pollinates too. So anything that the insect will need to pollinate. Let me speak properly. To pollinate. That's why I'm always putting flowers in with my food. Also, some of the pests that will trouble your plant are turned off by the smell of some of the flowers. And some of the insect that comes on some of the flowers you plant will also help to kill off some of the other insects. So, monoculture, no. Polyculture, yes. Grow a whole heap of something together and create a confusion for the insect population, and give yourself a better chance to have more viable plant, better fruit set, because as we can see, stink bug spoil your tomato, spoil up your sweet pepper, anything that grows above, and the stink bug go on them. That is issue. Caterpillars will eat up everything, so we have to try to create an environment that will create its own ecosystem that will help us to grow food the manner we like to grow food. Until another day on the garden scene, this is Anne from Yard Setting in Jamaica. Have a blessed day, and to borrow a phrase, may your thumbs be always green. God bless you, according to my friend David the Good. Praise the name of Jesus.